All right, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to Bali Unplugged podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by BaliPropertyFinanced.com, where we reduce the barriers to entry so you can own your own first property business in Bali safely and securely. Don't forget to stick around to the end of the podcast because our guest may or may not have a little gift for you. A couple of minutes because what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it to the different groups. You're welcome to jump on the Bali Unplugged podcast page and then share that to your personal page. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bali Unplugged. I've got Rasmus Holst from Coco Developments. Rasmus, are you there?
Hi, everyone, and thank you so much, Chris, for having me in the studio today. I am very excited.
Brilliant. So, Rasmus, I've been really following your success and everything that you've been doing in the Bali property space, and I must admit, your marketing is another level. I've never seen anything like it. Tell us a bit about, you and your history and, some of the successes that sort of made you. Take us all the way back to the beginning, what was childhood like when you were growing up?
All the way. I think in general, that comes to a lot of entrepreneurs. I've always been a curious person. My favorite movies as a kid was the one where I had to be active in it, find out who killed who, and I think that comes through all the things I've done. I have been playing sports on an elite level, played table tennis, came on a 6th place. I made festivals for 6 years. I have a big finance company in Denmark. I'm still the CEO. I've been running for the last 4 years.
Did you say you were doing festivals for 6 years? You were saying you were doing festivals?
Yeah, so you can say I went to college, and I'm from Copenhagen, Denmark, 28 years today. Back in the days, I used to go to college as so many other people, and I was very focused on that. I didn't want to have a job. It was very simple. I'm not a man who's afraid of anything, but I grew up with this. I really didn't want to have a job. Yeah. You know what I mean? I wanted to be the best version of myself for the people I had around me. And I just didn't see myself being that if I had to, wake up early in the morning and, being locked in a time not that I'm not in control. So I was very focused. I was very focused on how can I, Again, sorry?
Yep. Yeah, what I was saying was I can identify with that because, I was one of those children who couldn't sit still, and I didn't really like taking orders from people, and I didn't really like being put in a box. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of like how you were back in the day.
That was definitely also my picture of you, Chris. You seem like a man with a good portion of a lot of good energy. I think I've been very similar, very curious. I've never had any limits. I made a big street party in Copenhagen. I was 17, and I remember people was just constantly telling me, like, you can't do that. I was like, I can't do that. Well, there was some legal things in it. I forgot to ask for permission and things like that. But I think I've always been just challenging, the reality. I usually say there is the reality. There's the world, and that's my world. We stop for red, we go over green. That's what we've been told, like a lot of other things. And I think I've just always been a very reflective person, questioning the things I've got, put it on my table and looked at it and being like, is this actually for me? You know what I mean? Is this actually what I want? And I think having that, reflective thought process about what you do, I still do it today, every single day, in everything I do. I'm not the tallest tree in a forest. Meant like there's this saying that if you think you're the tallest tree in the forest, you don't listen to the trees down here because you have a big ego. What does that mean? That means you don't listen, you don't learn. I'm very reflective. I'm very. This is why you say
Interesting. That's it.
Never.
Well, we're starting to see a much more deeper version of Rasmus instead of just the boisterous, like happy-go-lucky guy. You know,
Wow.
we can. You're showing us that you really think on a much really deeper level.
Why do you
That's
think the
amazing.
term, where do you think the term comes from that you ground yourself? It's back to the
Yeah.
story tree. For real,
True.
100%.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
think
Go back
think
to your roots.
think
Yeah.
think like a monk. Really good book. He talks a lot about ground yourself and talking to be don't don't be the tallest tree in the forest.
In the forest. Yeah. In
Be
Australia, we
humble.
call it tall poppy syndrome. When people like to take you down a notch because you're doing too much and they don't like it.
That's a world thing.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Okay, cool. So, you've told us a little bit about your childhood and and what it was like growing up as Rasmus. You lived in Copenhagen. I saw you've been to Italy and also was it Dubai or was that Palestine? Yeah.
Yeah, I relocated myself from Denmark 4 years ago.
Mm.
It all started with me taking an intern in Cyprus and becoming a digital marketer 7 years ago. I remember I met this guy, Paul, one out of many. Paul was
Mm.
German, lived in Cyprus and in Germany and in South Africa. And then the last 3 months of this little cheese wheel of 4 quarters, he spent wherever he wanted. And I met this guy and I was like, so you actually are telling me that you can pay less money in taxes by not living in Denmark, Germany, whatever, Europe, and you can have more than one life in one life. I was stuck. I was like, from that moment, I met so many digital nomads many years,
Mm.
7 years ago today, and I was just like, that's me. That's my life. No matter what is going to happen from here on, I'm going to have a work, and it's going to be remotely. I'm going to organize my work so it's remotely. At that time, I was making events in Denmark. I was running a cocktail bar. I made dinners and disco. I made bubbles and business networking events where we were combining the best from two worlds. I was making a live festival. I was doing a lot
Yeah.
of brand campaigns, sponsorships, Revolut, TransferWise, Aperol,
Wow.
whatever
Yeah.
brands in the world I've been working with. I don't know, maybe 100 brands of alcohol, phone companies, sportswears, and so on. But in the end
Gotcha.
of the day,
Wow.
everything I've always been doing has always been focused on, I want to be free. I want to be in control. I want to be the best version of myself with people I have around me. I'm very aware of that. It comes straight from my childhood. My father, he quit his job the day before. He has been working for my grandfather for 10 years. Why? Because he had nothing to celebrate. And what happened after that, Chris? He didn't have a job for 10 years until he got me, and he took a job in a kindergarten. But you know what I mean? That's what I come from. I come from a father giving me a picture of, if you want to be the best version of yourself, you need to be in control of your own hours, kind of saying.
Yeah, exactly. Nice, nice. So I see. So you basically what you've been saying is that your father has really sort of helped you shape, your success. How was it also on your mother's end? Were you sort of really more closer with your father or your mum too?
I live abroad. I've lived abroad from Denmark like the last 4 years. I live full time in Bali now. Used to live in Dubai, Spain,
Yeah.
traveling around the world like so many others. Very close with both of them. I love my father, my biggest inspiration. I've said that in more than one podcast so far.
Yeah.
Also love my mother. They are both really good friends. They're not together anymore, but they are best
Oh,
friends.
oh,
Both
yeah.
soft, amazing people, open heart, good to listen, and just humble, chill people. Very social and
Beautiful.
just very happy people.
Beautiful, beautiful. So do you believe you got your It sounds like you got really your work ethic from your father because the way he sounds like his character is very similar to yours.
Well, I think like my father is very much about environment today.
Mm,
So he's
mm,
very, I think this, either you stay out or you go all in. I think this
mm,
being obsessed about things, I think I have that from my father. My father is
mm.
very obsessed about the environment. You know what I mean? Like you can
Yeah.
call it extremist or whatever it's called. And I think I'm very much the same. I used to play
Focused
table
on.
tennis playing with the national team. I was having trainings and matches. I had 10 per week. So I had 5 matches and 5 trainings every single week. I stopped from one day to another like this. It was either way.
Wow. Nice. It's that hyper focus because you really got interested into something and you really dug deep into it. So the next question I got here, Ras, is how did you end up living in Bali? Tell us the story.
I'll keep it short. I was in Cyprus 2 years ago. It was to visit an old good friend of mine. We chose to go to Istanbul for the weekend. I met a beautiful girl in Istanbul, and I traveled from there to Dubai, and I went into Istanbul and saw her a few times. And long story short, I was back in Copenhagen. I asked her if she wanted to go with me to Bali, and she said yes. She was not my girlfriend at that time. She's my girlfriend today. So we went to Bali for a few years ago on holiday, and ended up staying here for 4 months. I left. I couldn't get it out of my head that the coolest thing and I probably ever could make would be at that time just build luxury villas. You know what I mean? A little bit back to creating festival. The concept, be creative, doing something, and then it's just also high tickets. It's a really good market. It's a good business. There was something, So in short, I came as so many other people, just for a holiday and fell in love. Not only with a beautiful girl, but also with the islands of the gods. Whatever
you really fell in love with Bali, and you brought your skill and expertise in marketing to the real estate industry here.
Yeah, I was not planning it before, but I was like, for me, business is like a sport. It's like, back to table tennis. I'm always, I have a lot of energy, and I have let's call it a big need for stimulation. I like to do things. If not, I get very bored. My brain functions quite fast. It's very simple. That's how it is. So I think I was in Bali for 2 weeks, and then I set up a company. I started renovating a villa, and I flipped it. So I renovated for 30 days. I have a post on it on my Instagram. Something like I've been in Bali for 2 weeks, and I was just at lunch. You can get a lunch for $2, but a really nice villa costs $4K. Something is not adding up. I looked into the business model and nailed it before we scaled it. I looked into to take a villa, the market prices, and I actually just trying to see if all the things I have in my head on a very small level, because I know I'm very good in marketing and I know I'm very good in sales. How difficult is it for me to renovate this villa and rent it out and make a 100% profit in a few months? So that was the business case in my own head. I had, long story short, I had 80 families coming looking at it, and it took me 10 days to rent it out. I rented it myself for 200 million, 225 to be precise. And it's still rented out now for 550 million. So I made a 100% profit in 1.5 months of renovation. So we painted the walls, bought new furniture, and I smashed it out to around 100 sales real estate agents in Bali, and it was got rented out like this.
Oh, amazing! And that's everything up to date now. Nice. So that's how you started, and that's sort of what's got you cranking the wheel in Bali. Okay, cool. So what are some of the unique challenges that you faced while living and working in Bali?
It's a great question. It's the same question as when people ask me, what is the risk? That's what I'm working on every single day, as I used to call it. That's what it is. It's a SWOT. It's strengths, it's weaknesses, it's opportunities, it's whatever, it's threats, the last one. To be honest, I've had a company in Dubai as well. I'm really happy for operating in Bali. There's not as many rules. So if you're a person who's an ordinary person, it's very easy. It's not like in Denmark. If you go a little bit too much on the right side, here you have a fine. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of red tape. Yeah.
Chris, you live here in Bali as well. The service level of Indonesians. Is that the highest service level in the fucking world or what?
No.
You know what I mean? It's fucking easy. They are so good people.
They're really easy.
It's so easy to work with. They are so service-minded. So if it's to set up a company, to get your kid test, if you just, like, to everyone who's listening, like, just ask. like I heard in a podcast about this billionaire, he said one of the biggest reasons people they don't succeed is because they don't ask for help. You know what I mean? They're too proud or too, that's a stupid question. There's no stupid questions. If you're focused on being a given person, then the other way around, if you give, you can also take, and ask for help. I ask for help every single day, especially myself. You know what I mean? I walk a lot. I reflect about my own thoughts, and I get some good answers. If not,
I like it. Yeah, Rasmus, you're a very humble guy. As much as it may seem like you're very high energy, you do come with a very humble energy, which is really nice to see as well. That you're not overly egotistic, unlike some other people that they walk around like so that's good.
I think it's what you have your value proposition in, your why, your existence, your reason for doing things, and I really don't give a shit about money, to be honest. I also said it in the Monday talk with Robert. It came out in a little, I got born rich kind of saying, but like I think just
you got born rich, yeah.
None of I'm from Denmark, you know what I mean. We have a very good society and high level of wealth, and you can look at money like a material. So if your whole life has been in need of this material, you will be focused on, hey man, my scooter needs gasoline, right? Or petrol, or whatever it's called. But if you come from a country where gasoline, you need to put that on your tank. No, okay, fuck man, I've never tried that, because you always just had a car. It was filled, you know what I mean? you actually didn't know what. The oranges doesn't come from the supermarket, you know what I mean? Like that thought process, you're not that focused on it. For me, it's a key point indicator if a company is growing. But with Coco Development Group, we're very focused on community. We're very focused on charity. We're very focused on. We're building a resort called the Coco Lifestyle Resort. Grow, play, connect, invest in yourself, get a better life, pay lower taxes in Bali, have lower living costs, play, grow together with like-minded people. Is very much about soft values, about community.
It's about community, yeah.
It's about living the best fucking possible life in Bali.
As possible.
Lifestyle, my dream, what I want. You know what I mean? I don't care about money. I just want to meet some really nice people and grow together with them.
That's right. So Rasmus, I see that you're a really hardworking guy. And I guess one of my questions is. How do you work? How do you, balance your professional and your work life? I mean, do you split it down the middle, or do you split it three-way, where you also have time for thinking about business, but not necessarily working in the business?
That's a good thought. Good question. I think a lot about my work as if you go to the gym and you have a workout. So what do you do in a gym? You go and you have. Also, the majority of people, if they know what they do, they have a workout, right? They have. I'm gonna do chest, shoulder, tricep. I'm gonna have 6 exercises. I'm gonna be there for 1 hour. I'm gonna do 25 sets, whatever. So in the same way with my work, I'm very focused on. I stop when I'm 80% done. It makes no sense. Work smart, not hard. So. My routine: I wake up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I drink a few coffee. I go to the gym. I work out for 1 hour. That's my way to start my day. It's like taking a cold shower. I'm addicted. I like how many days we have had? 2 months and 19 days. I can guarantee. Let's say we have had 90 days, almost 80 days of 2024 so far. I've been in the gym every single morning, 78 of those days. It's the first thing I do in the morning. If I'm tired, I go. If I'm not tired, I still go. That's it.
Yeah, that's commitment.
So if I should give advice, I've been asked a few times what would be my advice. My advice would be, if you want to be successful, you get a gym membership and you start going there every single morning. And you don't kill yourself. I don't go to the gym for 1.5 hours or 1 hour. I go for 45 minutes. I take 4 exercises. I do 25 sets and I'm out.
Nice.
I don't walk out because I've killed myself. I do it slowly. I do 70 to 80% workout. I'm in a great shape. I wake up in the best way. And what else I do? I I walk every day, sorry, 1 hour, about sunset, 5 or 6 o'clock. So I typically are in the office 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. I work from 10 to 5 o'clock, so 7 hours.
That's a good routine.
I
Yeah.
walk for 1
Then you
hour,
walk.
so I calm my brain. What I also do, Chris, is I reflect. I get perspective of the little man myself sitting in this office. So I get perspective of my work.
Yeah, nice. Did you? Let me ask you a question. Have you ever done the 75-day hard challenge?
My colleagues, all my colleagues have. They are all doing it, and I remember they talked to me about it, and I was like, guys, that's so funny. This is exactly what I've been doing the last 4 years.
What I've been doing. That's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what it is, because it requires you to do 2 workouts, and then the walk is one of the workouts.
Exactly. I was just listening to it, and I was like, guys, you're late. This is what I do.
Yeah, late to the party. This is my life already.
This is exactly what I do. I don't drink. I've been sober for 8 months. I've been doing doing that 70 hard for 8 months now. That's, but yeah, it's for me, it's really giving.
Three times over.
Balance also.
Yeah, nice. All right, cool. So what advice would you give someone who's considering moving to Bali?
Again, sorry?
What advice would you give someone who's considering moving to Bali or investing in Bali and looking at, what kind of advice could you have for that person?
Well, I would say, first of all, I can give some broad advices, but it depends on the single person. So my first answer would be a question to understand who is the person better. So I understand why this thing work related and so on. But in general, I would say Bali is the best place in the world. If you ask me, I've never been anything. My advice would be that if people has the opportunity to it, let's say they are in a service job back home, but they're able to do it hybrid, so they're able to say to their boss, "Hey, Brian, I've been in your marketing company working my ass off for the last 4 years. I really fucking love what I do, but I also need freedom. Those weekends, 2 days, it doesn't work for me. And I think again back to the ask for help or speak loud. I think a lot of people, they would be surprised how long you can come if you speak your mouth, if you ask people. A lot of things is possible. We started Coco Development Group for 8 months ago. We look into build real estate for more than $20 million this year. We have 35 people in the company full time. We've generated $7 million, and the network we have, the team we have, the people we have interest for, to join the team. We talk CEOs of major companies who wants to really come in and be a part of where we are going, because they understand what we are about to build, not just development wise, but brand wise.
Beautiful.
In parts to build number one lifestyle property brand in the world. It comes from a curious mindset. It comes from thinking out of the box, and it comes from asking people, how the fuck did you do that? You know what I mean? If you come with humble and just, if someone comes and interested in, I just had a meeting earlier with this guy who was really, he's been following me, and he thought, wow, big footsteps. How the fuck did you do that? And I was like, I was just sitting talking with him for 1 hour, giving him my tips and trying to understand, where he is at now, and do he need a team? Do he, what would I do if I was in his situation, being maybe a little bit, what's next? I'm not motivated. I don't have that fulfillment in my life. I make money. If that's not what it's about, it's just I'm bored. I'm not challenged.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I just feel like this guy's not growing. With other words, that's what he felt.
So let's say, for example, let's say someone wanted to work with you, Rasmus, and they wanted to jump on board. Are you saying that it's definitely something that's doable, remotely? If they wanted to up their job and leave, and they could just apply for different companies here, you think it would be fairly easy if they could speak English, or very quick to learn?
I have almost 100 employees today. People I
Oh,
work together
beautiful.
on a payroll. I have people in Thailand, Philippines, Bali, Germany, Holland, South Africa, Denmark, Bosnia, Montenegro, Spain.
Nice, nice. Okay, beautiful. So, to answer your question, in terms of like who the customers, so a lot of the times people are looking to travel to Bali or they're looking to move, and some of the things that they're looking at, and what stops them from wanting to be able to either invest in Bali or even move to Bali is A, trust. How do I know I could trust this person? B, where's the security in, transferring my money, and how do I know that it's all secure? And then C, how does all the legals work? So, I mean, you don't have to answer all of that, but which is the very easiest way to answer that?
It's the same I'm sitting with. I don't sit that much with client talk anymore. I'm
Mm,
sitting mainly with our internal team and
mm,
whatsoever. But when I'm sitting with clients, it's the same things. And we try on all points we can. And I also say to clients, see it from my perspective. Because
mm,
what I do with my company, I see it from your perspective. I look at it as like if I was the client, and I can just only be transparent with you. I've done
mm,
everything I can based
mm,
on I was the client to build a system
mm.
and a security that is as transparent and as secured. So to go a little bit more in deep to it, I have people I've talked with for 20 minutes that tells me, Rasmus, I want to invest with you. And I say, amazing. I also would love to work with you. I want to clarify 100%. We are not selling villas. We're an investment company. In the end of the day, we go into a collaboration, meaning a few things.
Yep.
One, the
Mm,
client pays 25% of their property through us from the going
mm,
forward, from the rental profit or from the resale profit. Why? That's our way
mm,
to show that we take responsibility for their
mm.
investment case. It's not just a beautiful brochure with a lot of beautiful numbers. It's our way
Yep.
to say, hey, you give us some commitment. Let's call it by a down payment.
Yep. To show that
You
you to
you give
they want to
it's step by
be
step. It's step by
locked in. Yeah.
step. Step by step. Yeah.
Mm, mm.
Um,
No, so you pretty much hold their hand through the entire process. That's brilliant. That's nice.
we are here for the long
Nice.
run. I
Yep.
but I have clients, and I fully understand them, man. It's a lot of money, but to secure themselves, first of all, I recommend all of our clients. With other words, we don't go into any collaborations with a client
Mm,
before they have made a due diligence about us. It's very
mm,
important for me that we don't go into a collaboration with a client
mm.
before they have all information. So if they are not able to understand, if there's something they don't understand about us, we are not going
You
into
won't
collaboration
close them.
with them.
Yeah, smart. Yeah, that's
So,
very
so
transparent.
we are not in a rush. I say that to all clients. It's very important for me. We do it in your time,
Your own
and
time frame. Yep.
if you don't have the time to go these things through,
Mm.
we can't work with you. You know what I mean? I'm not here for a short-term fix for a long-term headache. I'm here to go into a collaboration and work with you.
Nice.
And it's very important for me that you really understand what we stand for. We're a lifestyle brand.
Yep.
We're an investment
Mm.
company. We have a long-term vision, and we are very much about community. We are about
Yep.
bringing you into the team of the Coco lifestyle, the Coco community, the Coco team, because that's what everything we're about. It is to create the best possible life in Bali for our clients, our colleagues, our partners, everyone who's a part of the Coco world. And
Mm.
it's more important for me
Oh,
than a person that I don't want to have a person who regrets in 3 months for some reason because they didn't
no,
understand 1, 2, or 3. You know what I mean?
no, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to have
Oh,
bad energy.
beautiful.
I don't want to have bad energy.
No,
Then I'm just
you
out.
don't have
So
bad juju. Yeah, that's right.
no, that's all, everything I'm about. It's good energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. So, the next question here is, how do you stay connected with the community in Bali? I know you do all of these things, so let the viewers know how you stay connected with with the community in Bali.
Again, sorry. What was
So
the question?
how do you stay connected with your community here in Bali? Like, what are the avenues that people um you know can touch base with you? Like, do you hold events? Do you run shows?
the most people, they, you know, text me on Messenger. I'm very online on Facebook. I'm just joking. Send me a message online.
Slide into my DMs. Yeah.
Just text me. Maybe we'll get answer. No, I'm just fucking around. We had open house last Friday for our Coco Mansion. So it was like a social day where I also just say thank you so much to everyone for coming. I hope you are meeting some other great people and having a good night, because that was the most important for me.
I must admit that was one of the best openings I've ever seen, and it's very creative.
That was nice. I was also very happy. It was some great people. You know what I mean? It was, you know, the connection was, it was my notary, it was clients, it was partners, it was you, Chris, it was, you know, people of the community. It was just great people. It was my colleagues, a lot of them, and you know, it was just like this inner circle family. You know, where you take a ring of an onion, and it was not this a lot of random people. Everybody was connected in some kind. So you know,
some sort
the
of way,
community feeling was just really strong.
Oh, beautiful. Nice. All right, so Rasmus, can you tell me, right? Can you tell me about a time where you faced something really difficult, like something that was challenging? And it doesn't necessarily need to be business, but how did you overcome it? And when I say a significant challenge, I mean in Bali in particular.
When we started Coco Development Group, we had the showcase event of our first lifestyle resort, the Coco Residential Living. We had that in October. Amazing night. I think we had 350 people coming. We made a small mini festival with drinks, bar, food, music,
Wow.
things as if you had a small festival. You know, it was challenging, Chris. It was to start a company. You invest more than $1 million into it yourself, and the sales were not really coming. Don't get me wrong, we've been operating for like 3 or 4 months at that time, but you're making a big showcase event. You have so many people coming, kissing you on the neck, on the chin, and celebrating, and you're standing there a little bit gray in your face. Why? Because the sales number is not going like your imagination. So
your burn rate was quite high at the time.
I was losing money. Let's call it that. I was losing a lot of money. You know, we're building a team. We're building an internal culture. You know, we're trying out a lot of different things. That's how it is. I'm also actually making a podcast about that. We recorded one calling failure, and what I'm talking about what I'm talking a little bit about now, all the different things we have tried with Coco, all the different marketing activities. So what people, they see is, wow, that's beautiful, blah blah blah. That's the top of the iceberg. There is so many things we've tested out that didn't work, but that's how it is. You need to figure out what exactly works. What is the recipe for the best banana cake? When you figure that out, you duplicate it and you fucking scale it. That's what we're doing now. And
nice. So how many months did it take you to get from you know, point A to point B, where you're done with the, you know, like a high burn rate, to now, okay, we can really start to scale this? How long did it take you to get into that mode?
we made $1 million in November. In October, we made zero.
Oh, so 2 months.
October, the 21st of October, we had the release party, something like, maybe it was the 19th, and we went into sales on Monday, the 21st, something like it, as I remember it. From the 21st of October to the 21st of November, or just the November month, whatever. So at that time, I was gray in my face. I was walking more than 1 hour per day. I was walking 2 hours per day, 2.5 hours per day. I was walking. That's it.
Walking? Oh, you were walking. I thought you mean working.
No. I was walking and working.
Yeah, to de-stress.
I was freeing my mind. I was getting answers. The best way to get answers, if you ask me, that is to be active. It's to be active. It's to free your mind and make it work. And that's not by sitting, looking into a screen, doing the exact same thing as we did yesterday that didn't give you any result. Long story short,
you disconnect from it, and you allow your walking, your body motion to give you the creativity you need.
Exactly.
Yeah, beautiful. I guess that
you push it gives you momentum, and momentum is very. If you want to move, you need momentum. If you don't have momentum, it's difficult to move your mental state or whatsoever you have in you from A to B. And if you want to go from A to B, you need momentum.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. So, Rasmus, what are some of the biggest misconceptions about living in Bali, and how do you address these?
Misconceptions?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like, some people might be like, oh, Bali's full of bogans, people who are not really, clean like this, blah blah blah. All they do is drink. And then when they come to Bali, they realize, oh, there's a lot of entrepreneurs here. So when I say misconceptions, it's like an idea that they might think that's old, but really it's completely different now.
That's a good question. It's very
Yeah.
subjective, and I'm trying to figure out what was my own picture of Bali, because I don't remember. The only picture of Bali I remember myself having is, like, again, it was quite random. I ended up here. I didn't do much research. I planned to go to Bali 1 week before I came here. So my picture of Bali was, this is paradise. This is number one on, the majority of digital nomad list for people living here. It's beautiful nature. We are in Asia. It's about retreats. It's about growth. It's about more healthy values.
Spiritual healing.
Yeah, that thing. So, like, really, to be straight up, I fucking love Bali. I'm so happy. And I mean it. I really have. I had an Indonesian guy ask me for, like, let's just call it 2 months ago, what was the worst part about Bali? And I was like, that's a good question. I think I will try to just ask you. I don't remember his answer, to be honest, but I was not able to find any. Well, I had one, and that was the supermarkets. You don't cook in Bali, and the supermarkets, that was the only thing I could find out. I could figure out that, it's like a little bit like, for example, in Dubai, you can go down in the supermarket and you have supermarkets here, but I miss this, that you can go down and you can buy, like a Greek salad. You can buy, a little bit like, you have the best restaurants here. You know what I mean? It makes but it was just, if you want to have this, hey man, I'm actually working myself. I'm gonna make a dinner for my girl back home. Whatever. That's mainly the only thing I can come to mind. Except that you have the best energy in the world here.
Yeah, nice. So Rasmus, we've been talking a lot about business and whatnot. Let's talk about what do you like doing. Something a bit more personal to you. What do you like doing, and in Bali? What do you like to? How do you like to enjoy your weekends or your weekdays? How do you wind down?
I would say in general, I've always been a very curious person. I love to learn things. I like to do new things. In general, I'm a very active person. On Saturday, I'm going to the mountains driving ATV.
Wow! ATV is so fun.
Motocross. That's probably the best day trip I've had in Bali. I was driving ATV in the mountains and at the black sand, just flying around like nonsense. So I was in general the same with business, not because we had to talk about business, but in general, a lot of things I do is to stimulate myself. I like to be stimulated. So as a person not drinking and doing drugs or keeping it sober forever, you find other activities, and
it's funny you say that, because I remember when I first moved to Bali, right? And my housemate, he goes to me, Chris, it's very easy to lose yourself. Just make sure you don't you don't go overboard. So I spent the first couple of weeks partying, doing a bit of drinking and whatnot, and I was like, this isn't really cutting it for me. But I could see people like sort of starting to lose themselves in Bali, and he said it's very easy to lose yourself. How do you how did you find yourself first coming here to Bali, and then did you find you had to struggle with that as well, or you just noticed that that's what happened, that you didn't want to go down that path?
The funny thing is, I came to Bali. I was drinking for a few weeks, like just normal. I had a drink in the weekends, nothing biggie. Then I just remember in the couch, and I had my good friend Fred from Dubai over, and it was me, my girl, Fred, and a girl. And I just remember this Wednesday. I was like, why did I drink? And long story short, I just stopped drinking for 3 months. And that was the first. But I've never asked myself. I never thought about why am I drinking.
Mm.
and then I was in Bali. So I would say, from my perspective, I'm so
Yeah.
stimulated in Bali. Why? Because you have so much good energy. Like really, if
Oh,
that's reflection. My reflection is because I get, I have 10 to 15 smiles with strangers every single day. It can be whatever. Everybody's so friendly and happy, and that stimulates me. I get this energy, I get this
beautiful.
connection,
Energy
and
exchange. Yeah.
energy exchange. So I
Mm.
don't have any need to, I would say, compared to Denmark, where you're on like Friday, like where you can have had a week where you have been, had this level, this amount of energy exchange just that much lower. So you have this extreme need on a Friday. I need to go out. If not, I will go through one more week of, I
Yep.
don't want to say loneliness, but it's just to put it on the rock. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Of where you don't meet new people. So for me, also back to activities. In general, on Saturdays and Sundays, what I do, I have a lot of, I don't want to call them meetings, but people I, in some way has been connected with. I'll say I connect with
Yep.
a lot of new people every single week. 1, 2, 3 people I meet every single day,
Beautiful.
that I have never met, that I have a meeting with
Yep.
today. I had a meeting with Sammy. I had a meeting with the guys from Upgrade.
Yep.
I was at this Eco Villa to get a tour together with 10 other entrepreneurs.
Mm.
I got invited to like inspiration tour to build more substantial, very
Mm.
interesting with water recycling systems and whatsoever.
Yep.
And in general, I just say yes, the same as why I'm here today now. You know what I mean? I just say yes. You never know. Maybe this is, maybe I don't know, gonna meet someone on the other side of the screen who has a dog I will fall in love with. Who knows?
Oh. Oh goodness, Rasmus, it's been amazing having a chat. I got a couple last questions, right? How do you see Bali's future, both in terms of its economy and its role in the global hub for entrepreneurship and creativity?
I
How do
see
you see the
Bali as
future?
one of the best places in the world you can go to if you want to grow as a person and as an entrepreneur. That's my quick first answer. And that's not for me to try to sell anything in line with what I have, hands down. I promise that. I really mean that. It just makes perfect sense. You have so many other entrepreneurs. I see Bali, the future of Bali, I see Bali becoming it's a grown place. Very simple. Makes perfect sense. You have the best energy, the best people. The square meters of Bali is still cheaper than the cheapest, most dusty, dirty place in Europe. That makes no sense. Here you have lower
Ouch.
tax, you have better weather, you have better people, you have better restaurant, you have the most amazing culture. It's very simple math. That
Yep.
is not going to continue. It's some dirty street in Romania versus Bali. This is dirty street in Romania. This is Bali.
Ouch.
Nothing
Yeah.
against Romania, but I was looking a little bit up. What is the cheapest place in Europe? And Romania. So
Yeah.
you
And it
are
still beats
built.
it.
Yeah, you have a lot of growth in Bali. Bali is not getting bigger. I mean, what does that mean to
Mm.
prices, supply, demand? We can't build it. We can build a second, but it's going to take time for the culture and so on. The culture
Yep.
of Bali is going years and years and years back in history with ceremonies and so on. It's the same as if you want to build a culture in your company. It's not something that happens in a week. It comes through rituals you build over time. What Bali has is extremely unique.
Wow.
You don't fucking just make this up because you say, hey man, wow, I would like to make my own Bali. Yeah, good luck. So Bali is, with the infrastructure coming, they're going to have a metro line system. Bali is on the same size as Denmark. Denmark is what you call a country. Bali is island. I think what I'm going to see with Bali is that it's not going to be really like, I don't think they're going to be independent.
Yeah.
But Bali is going to be as much as a country like you have. Indonesia is one of the
Yeah.
most growing economies in the world right now, and it's the fourth
Oh, it's
biggest
massive.
population.
Mm.
Bali is centralized. If you look at the square meters, whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
except Jakarta, the place in Bali, in Indonesia, where you have the biggest concentration of money.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy that they're even picking up the capital city and moving it to another island, which is crazy. It's going to cost them what, 30 billion or something like this. So, finally, Rasmus, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to start a business in Bali?
Just do it. Reach out. In general, advice: get a membership in the gym, start working out every day in the morning, and plan your day for the next day, so you don't wake up in the morning in the middle of the race thinking about what you need to do. Be forward thinking. Plan your day for the next day, and then you just take one to do at the time. That's it. It's as simple as that. And you just keep pushing. Beautiful. And you focus on being happy, because you need momentum to execute. So if you're not happy, you're not going to execute good. Then you have a machine that's not working optional. So if you're thinking about making a company in Bali, simplify it for yourself. It's the easiest thing in the whole world. It's a decision, and you just take it, and then you take it from there. And you have trust in yourself that everything will be good.
That's it. Beautiful. So Rasmus, we're going to wrap it up now. But before we go, for those who are interested in getting in touch with you at Coco Developments, what do you have on offer for the Bali expats group and the Bali Travelers Information Group?
So the focus from you was not to try to talk or to talk too much about our development company and all the activities we have going on here in Bali. But what we do is we are a full service development and investment company. We take full responsibility. We are probably the developer in Bali who use the most money on marketing and branding. And if anyone is considering investing in the real estate market of Bali, first of all, I'll be more than happy to just take a chat, give them a helping hand if they're going to work with us or not. Like, hands down, I'm really fucking passionate about what I do, and I love to speak about it. So we have to just give a hand out and help and put people in direction based on their thought process, and give my thought process about, what am I focused on when we are building a lifestyle resort in this area whatsoever. And I think, Chris, we talked about something else about offer and blah, blah, blah. But I think the best I can do is to just give a coffee, a big hug, a big nice smile, and give my best tips. I think I actually rather, and then people can look at what we do. People don't need to buy or work with me for getting advice. The most important is, again, back to growth, community, and whatsoever, that we grow together. And I'm in the market for friends.
Oh, that's cute. Oh, I love it. Oh, Rasmus, it has been an absolute blast.
I'm a little princess. Give me that. Come on, can we end on those words?
Oh, my man. Yeah. Oh, dude. It has been an absolute blast hanging out with you. Much love. And you know what? Looking forward to catching up with you next week. And thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you on the next one.
The 28th. It's going to come out tonight. We are going to have the official release party of the Coco Lifestyle Resort in Binging. We're going to have it in Bali. So if you know where Obsidian Gym is, it's just in the Bali Beach Bar, whatever they're called. Really nice place.
Yeah, nice.
300 people.
Now, if you send us the link, we'll put it below in the comments.
It's beautiful.
Brilliant. Amazing. All right. Thanks, Rasmus. I'll definitely tune in for that one.
Amazing. Thank you for having me, Chris. I wish you a beautiful day, and I will, if I want it or not, I will see you around. But I want to.
See you then.
See you, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for tuning into the Bali Unplugged podcast. This episode was sponsored by BaliPropertyFinance.com, where we reduce your barriers of entry so you can easily acquire a property business in Bali.